What are some myths that are still believed by people? Lie detectors, as a literal thing. There's a reason they aren't admissible as evidence in court in most places. That Einstein failed his math lesson in elementary school. In 1935, it was the topic of a Ripley's Believe It or Not column, which Einstein himself disputed. He had excelled in elementary school, and by the age of 15, he had mastered differential and integral calculus. Lesser-known fact, Einstein's brain was pickled in a jar after his death, so scientists could study it to try and understand the neural basis of his exceptional intelligence. That drug dealers live to give away free product to kids in Halloween LOL. You have to wait 48 hours to report a person as missing. You don't. If you suspect someone is missing, report them missing as soon as possible. The idea that we each use only 10% of our brain. I've met a few people for whom this seems to be true, but fMRI and other brain scanning techniques prove we use much more than 10% for most activities. That mama birds will reject their babies if they smell humans on them. Birds do not have strong senses of smell. I'm 100% convinced this myth was made up by an exasperated mother who just wanted her kid to stop touching baby birds. I still believe that if any of my limbs hang off the bed while sleeping, that a monster will grab them. I also believe that the moment I remember this and pull them back on the bed is just in the nick of time before a monster grabs them. You can't prove there isn't a monster under my bed. That hard bristle toothbrushes get your teeth cleaner. Always use soft bristle toothbrushes and floss, folks. Spiders crawling in your mouth when you're asleep. Literally, a myth started to show how easy it is to spread myths. The worst part is, I've heard that it being a myth to show how easy misinformation is to spread is also a myth. So I don't know what to believe anymore. Leaving wounds open make them heal faster. Body hair grows faster or multiplies when you cut it. Things you eat at night have double the calories. My dad and mom believe in these and they just won't listen to reason. I tried explaining it with all the science behind it, but still, I guess when you're older you tend to stick with what you already know instead of what's true. Hot local singles want to meet you. That cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. It doesn't. Alpha pack theory when it comes to dogs. The myth was debunked by the same scientist that earlier concluded that dogs lived like wolves, seeking to be or have an alpha leader. That magnetic jewelry, healing will cure just about anything. A dude named Mesmer the 1780 came up with the idea, and it had been debunked many times, yet it's still a billion-dollar industry. Fun fact, the word mesmerized is related to him. Benjamin Franklin was on the original commission assigned by the French government to investigate Mesmer's claims. Franklin's personal conclusion was that it was all nonsense and didn't help anything, but still might be preferable to some of the things doctors used to do to sick people. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team his sophomore year. He was placed on JV because there were a ton of seniors who were not allowed to play JV. Not sure it's a myth, but most people think that the majority of combat deaths in WW1 were caused by machine guns, as they tried to run across no man's land from trench to trench. Or even the gas attacks some might believe was number one. It's what you always think of when you think WW1. Artillery, however, killed more soldiers than each of those two did. Also, the Spanish flu killed more people than WW1. If you eat that bubblegum, it stays in your system for 7 years. That vaccines cause autism. Seriously disappointed at how widely believed that still is. As a parent of an autistic, I have heard all sorts as to why he has it. Vaccines, that we took him overseas as a baby, lack of probiotics or not giving him vitamins, not enough sun, I dropped him, I didn't hold him enough as a baby, I didn't eat right through the pregnancy, and then my mother-in-law came out with this one. Because you live in a townhouse. That crystals have magical powers that range from cancer healing to mood changing. I have a friend that has anxiety, and she said that rubbing her crystals helps her calm down. My take is that it's largely a placebo effect, believing it will help is a big part of it. But touching something familiar and pleasantly haptic can be soothing too, like a lucky coin, wristwatch, ring, or even your own hands. I notice I wring my hands together sometimes when I'm nervous. Some people take it too far and it gets super weird and illogical, but I think for a lot of people it's more about comfort than magic healing. That Marilyn Manson got his ribs removed to suck his own D. Lifespan. That people lived to 30 to 35 years old until very recently. I've even had medical doctors tell me this, don't ask how it came up. It's due to the differences in infant mortality. If you lived to 10 you would probably live about as long as today. Socrates died of poisoning at 70. Hippocrates lived well into his 80s. Modern medicine is a marvel, but people weren't just dropping like flies in their mid-30s. If you work hard enough and want something enough, you can achieve anything you want. Rich and famous people know more than the average person, and we should listen to them for advice. I forgot what thread I was in and almost downvoted this. Very true. The only individuals who receive awful things in life are those who have earned them. I get a few concerned looks at work if I mention putting MSG in anything. They think it's going to give me cancer. IIRC. The whole thing was started by a bunch of readers' letters published in a medical journal in the mid-20th century complaining they had developed headaches and hangover-like symptoms from eating at Chinese restaurants. That planet Earth is flat. I saw a YouTube video from a conference in the States for flat earthers. The interviewer asked one person a question, to which they answered that they'd flown halfway around the world to be there. Ruffle. That you should pee on a jellyfish sting for relief. Please don't do that. Don't tell me how to live my life, man. Having S*X with multiple men makes women physically loose. Black cats bring bad luck. Low-fat, non-fat diets. Fats are actually critical for our health. It's the sugar that's killing us. If you give tax cuts to the ultra-wealthy and corporations, they will use that money to reinvest in their business and employees. That they can fix her or him. Please like and subscribe for more Reddit content, and if you really enjoyed, give the bell a cheeky wee click.